All right, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the first of many MJ Freeway Pennsylvania specific webinars. Thank you so much for attending. Just some housekeeping before we get into the actual content. If you would like to submit any questions, there is a chat box that should be on the right side of your screen. You'll be able to submit these anonymously if you prefer. We will be addressing these throughout the webinar at the very end. So if anything comes up during the presentation, or if you just have any ideas or experience that you'd like to have questions about, please feel free to pop those in. If there are any questions that are perhaps not related to coupons today, we can still refer a member of our team to you and we can support you. So please just submit any questions. We will get to you through there. And with that bit of housekeeping, I am going to hand this off. Oh, pardon me. To our presenter, Seth.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everybody. So today we're going to talk about coupons, and we're going to talk about some enhancements made to reduce the interaction in creating and especially managing coupons. For this, I have a couple tabs open. We'll come back and look at the coupon tab specifically in a second, but the functionality that we added to the system, we can find under facility settings. And within this, we created a new block here called product lists. Now, the idea here is to solve the issue of the product filter being difficult to manage in large scale scenarios. So for instance, on the coupons, we have our entire list of products here. And for folks with tons and tons of products, this drop down is slower to load. It can time out. And also what ends up happening is, of course, you can put tons of different products on here, but then you end up with a huge thing that's difficult to manage, audit. And some of you have seen some oddities with this. So instead of choosing your products one at a time on the coupon itself, we've implemented product lists, which is the ability to filter and identify products and then have discrete product lists that can be applied to coupons. So the first thing we see is a listing page where we can edit product lists, deactivate them. We'll go to create. And so the name is the name we're going to see once we start applying this product list to the coupons. So specifically, that list, the names just show up in the drop down here. And the idea is to be able to quickly get to large groups of products by filtering or actually adding in categories. We have a subcategory option, and then we'll look at the vendor option. And we iterated on this with several operators as far as kind of the most crucial fields to quickly be able to manage these. Now, notice that the page loads entirely blank. So it's not going to have to load your entire product list in this section here, which ends up running into some of the problems that we see elsewhere when we're loading entire lists. So this is an inclusive additive filter, and it's a multi-select field. So for instance, I can add topicals. I can then additionally add concentrates and so on with multiple categories. The subcategory, of course, is null unless I only have one category, at which point I can select the subcategory, then I can remove it. And in the end, we have the product list being built here, and this is just normal selection logic. For instance, I can select individual things. In the end, I'm going to move them over to the right side here. So I can control click, move things over. I can shift click and select whole chunks and move those over. I can then find just one filter, and maybe we have all of Henry's stuff going on this product list also. And then giving it a name, I'll be able to save this product list, and this will show up available to add to the coupon filter. Now, additionally, we can do multiple product lists here. So this is inclusive. So it's all products in test, and then as well as all products in flower clearance. So this just ends up building one master list effectively of products that can be used. So if you have some products in test that are not in flower, they'll still be available because it's an inclusive list. Versus where we see the and logic across different filters. So for instance, this would be flower only from 710 Labs, like the coupon, forgetting about these product fields. The coupon would have to meet both criteria. It'd have to be in the flower category and be from 710 Labs. And so that gets us the ability to manage those product lists much more quickly. One kind of tip is, when you get, if you have vendor deals out there, so to speak, and you get a new product in from a vendor, you can quickly filter to this vendor and see if anything is left hanging, which of course, once it's over here, it doesn't show up double over here. So we can see we have nothing outstanding from Henry's Original that's not included in this list. Now, for a couple tips and tricks, this is something several of our operators may already know and use. Once we get to the point of sale, of course, we have the fetch coupon logic. Now, we've recently released some enhancements to the fetch coupon logic to make it much faster. Instead of chewing through each line and determining if it's available against all the coupons and all the filters on all the coupons, we do it a little bit differently. There is a way to, for some coupons, actually bypass the fetch altogether. So when you have a coupon, you'll notice down here there's a print SKU or print SKU, as well as from the coupon main page, I can create a barcode sheet. So a PDF with barcodes for all these coupons. And then of course, standard barcode logic, it's really just a fast cut and paste. So something like that. This is, I think, like a 20% clearance coupon or something. And then it'll check to see that that's available, and I haven't actually had to fetch yet. So that's one trick for some coupons that we can move on there really quickly. Now, that's some new functionality and a little bit of workflow. Some updates that are actually rolling out on the next release. We have, we've had some reports of coupons doubling, and we've adjusted that. That basically happens, as many of you know, you can kind of fill in quantities to each of these fields and then rapid fire hit these buttons. Well, each of these has to finish. And so we've made some logic adjustments so that you can't add multiple things. And that's what was actually doubling the coupons. So we should see a resolution to the doubling coupons. The other piece is a UTC situation. So time zone. So for instance, as it is at this second, the time of day respects system time, but we had found that the day of the week filter, this was expiring on the end of the day Wednesday UTC. So this has been changed now to be end of the day Wednesday for whatever your system time is or your organization time is. So those are a couple adjustments coming out on the next release that should clean up some of that workflow. Also, a little side note, since we have this product list functionality, this product list functionality can now be used in rewards also. So rewards, when you set up a reward, you can add a product list to the rewards, same product lists. And so the product management with any given reward is much more streamlined now as well. And that pretty much covers the basics on some of the updates that we've done to coupons recently. And I think we can turn it over for questions now.
Awesome. Thank you. So again, if you do have any questions, there is a chat box you'll be able to submit them to.
And I see the question here we can actually take from Taylor. Yes, so the coupon doubling thing we talked about. We also tested this, Taylor, on the scanning. And so, of course, when you scan, the page brings up a little wheel to the product ad. So the scanning shouldn't cause the doubling, but that rapid fire hitting the add to products before the previous one is finished is what was causing that. Alistair, yes. One of the names of one of my favorite authors. So we have actually had that request, as I'm sure you can imagine, price setting coupons. We have some tickets for that. So that's something that's probably not tomorrow, so to speak, but that's a potential near-term thing we could prioritize. Good
Okay.
questions. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. That's everything that we had in the Q&A box. Pardon me. Just to let you know, we will be doing these webinars weekly. We'll be covering a lot of the features of MJ Freeway. There are some additional features as well. If you'd like to check those out, you can always connect with Robin to see how you're optimizing your software and to make sure that you're getting the most out of it as possible. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to come back. There are a few more questions. So Megan is asking, will there be a function where the coupons will not stack?
So out of curiosity, is this so you can't apply the same coupon to multiple items, or is this applying the coupon to the current already discounted subtotal versus the original subtotal, which of course creates extra discount? I'd ask which one that way is, Megan. My guess is you're asking about the latter. And we can always further take that offline. Certainly a good feature, a whole boatload of logic, but something we can definitely look at. So Robert, do we still have the issue of when there are 10 items in the patient cart, the fetching doesn't work? Well, so that's one of the pieces that we should see some relief on, meaning it's a scale logic, but in our QA workflow now, we have a specific step to add 10 or more items and fetch. And that was the, I know, fairly vague update I gave of reworking that fetch logic so that it has to do a whole ton less work in checking large orders. So we're beyond 10 items in QA, and we should see some relief on that front, definitely. Oh, Megan, applying multiple coupons to the product. Okay, so that's just maybe a setting. Not allow. Okay. We might want to flush that out a little bit, but because like when you have percentage stuff, if something gets a percentage, then as soon as it gets one coupon, it's locked out from any other coupons, even subtotal. I'm guessing is the case. Thought I saw you mentioned it already been fixed. It might have been a conversation of it's going to be. One of the things that we had to actually roll back. So if you remember, we went into code freeze 10 days before 420, and we were pushing a release out on 11 days before, basically, and we had some unrelated issues. So we actually did have it live for a tiny period of time and then rolled it back. And that's the over 420, we got that whole release cleaned up and pushed it out again, and had to leave that as a follow-up. So that one is actually going to release on this next, on the release that we're QAing right now. Yeah, 50 active coupons. So we have, if you have more than 50 active coupons, well, we're hoping some of this logic cleanup helps that, right? Because like if you have plus 50, you just have exponentially, well, I mean, linearly, whatever, more coupons with more products, with more filters that have to be checked. So the fetch logic should help that a little bit, but we haven't had a piece of development yet to address that directly.
All right, so that's about everything we have time for. Thank you all so much. Again, if you have any additional questions, you'll be able to connect with our team, or we'll reach out and address for anything that we'll be able to figure out. Oh, I apologize. We do have one more. We're gonna have to change putting in the caregiver's date of birth every time you check them in.
Robin, do you want to take
Yeah,
it?
yeah, no worries. I can speak on that. We're in discussions with the Commonwealth about making that happen right now. So that's about all the information we can give on that at this time, but we are in discussions about it.
These have been great. Thank you all so much. Now, at the end of this webinar, we will be sending out a survey. So if you have any suggestions for topics that we can cover to help you operate better, please feel free to reach out and let us know. And we hope to see you all next Thursday for our next webinar. Thank you all so much. Bye.